SEOscience.com.
There's all kinds of wild theories popping about now because Reddit is flowing up the rankings. Everyone's creating Reddit communities and spamming Reddit links, and these things don't work. And you might get like short-term wins, but long-term, it's not sustainable, and you're not gonna reap the rewards, are you? So yeah,
No, you're right, mate.
it's the most difficult part as well, and I've found it's also probably the most lucrative part of SEO because it is tough, and if you want to do it fast, you need to pay people like yourself who've got the skills and the know-how to go off, and not only do you write content, but you sourcing these links, and there's a lot of things to consider when you're sourcing links. And yeah,
there is, mate. You're right. The thing with backlinks is like a lot of businesses realize quite quickly how expensive they can be. And they think, oh, do you know what? Let's bring this in-house or let's try it myself, which is fine. And some business owners I've spoken to have done it themselves and they've done a great job. But the reality is there's more in it than you think, because inevitably you have to pay the website that's hosting the link. That's just the reality of the modern backlinking situation. Like 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you might have been able to approach a publication, say, hey, look, I've written this amazing article for your website. It's going to do well. Could you please post it? And they might be like, hey, yeah, this is great content. I will post it. And it has your linking. Happy days. Nowadays, you don't get that so much because people know the value of these links. They know how valuable they are to you, to the business owner. So naturally, they will ask for money. So that's part of it. And this is kind of where a business owner might be like, well, why would I pay a link builder who then has to pay this person? I'll just cut up the link builder. And okay, fair enough. It's logical. But the reality is finding the right sites is a huge time suck, because if you're doing it properly, so if you had like a plumber and then you had like taking yourself like a law firm, they'd have different sets of links. They'd need different link profiles to make things work.
Yeah.
What some agencies will do, they might have a list of links they use for every single client, and they just do the same over and over and over again. And it's like a hit and miss, it's spray it against the wall and maybe you'll hit a few and you might get some traction. But the reality is if you build a link profile for the client in question and for what they need, it works much better. But again, you have to write content for every single link that that you're using. You can do link inserts as well, but we'll talk about those, I guess, in another podcast, a deeper podcast on it. But the content for every link has to be there. So that's a time suck. Finding the website's huge time suck. Negotiating with the website owners, again, another one. So there are so many steps that you need to take, and at each step you can cut corners. So yeah, it's important to find someone for your business who's going to do the job properly. And within SEO in general, that's hard to do. When you come down into links specifically, it's even harder to do. So yes, it can be for an SEO agency quite a lucrative aspect. But unfortunately, what you do find is complete like profiteering, I guess. Like a lot of SEO agencies will literally outsource to India, outsource to China, build these 10 links for us, a few £100 or dollars or whatever, and you just get absolute dross back that is useless. And even some of the biggest agencies in the USA and the UK still do that today. So it is a minefield for businesses, and it is a huge cost sink. The problem with them at the moment is that what you find last year, I think about January 2023, in December 2022, there was a link building update. And essentially before that, if you would acquire really spammy or really bad links, they could damage your website. By damage your website, I mean they could lower your ranking for certain keywords and damage your website. And what was happening a lot were unscrupulous businesses were essentially building really bad links to their competitors. It's bad. Google realized this was happening, and they kind of said, right, this can't happen anymore. So bad link building, really bad link building now doesn't necessarily dip you down. So what you find is, although agencies will build really bad links, you don't see a negative impact, but you don't see a positive impact either. It doesn't go the right way. So the huge amount of misinformation there, because what happened was loads of websites who tried to build like really bad links to get themselves going up, went down, but they didn't go down because they didn't go down because the links were bad. They went down because the links that they had stopped working. So it's like taking the
Yeah.
foundations away from a house, right? So that was a huge like transfer of like misinformation around. Everyone's like, oh, these bad links, they're really bad, they're really bad. But the reality is, good links will move you up. Bad links won't move you down at the moment.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a weird, dynamic there that people don't really understand.